His Excellency Ambassador Saurabh Kumar to present the opening remarks to us. Thank you. Sir.
Has taken a very important decision, which is historical, which deals with the cultural and literary aspect of our country, whereby certain languages have been given the status of classical languages. So we are very happy. I think we have in our midst people from Marathi and Bengali community who would be, and others also I suppose, who would be, but people who have knowledge about these languages. They would be telling us about the history of these languages and the literature which is there in these particular, these two specific languages. So without further ado, I would hand the mic back to the compere and to take the program forward.
Talk us through the history, evolution and the greatness of the Bengali language. He is a representative from the Bengali Pravasi community, Tero Parbon Belgium. He is a financial risk management consultant by profession and an IIM Indore alumni, and passionately Bengali from his core. Mr. Anupam.
Thank you. Respected Indian Ambassador to Belgium and Luxembourg, Sri Saurabh Kumar, respected Deputy Chief of Mission, Dr. M. Balaji, respected Councillor PIC Sri Venkateshwaran Narayanan, and all other esteemed guests of today. It brings me immense pleasure and honor to be standing here on this auspicious occasion of celebrating the accordance of the status of classical languages to Bengali by the Government of India on 3rd October 2024. I'm sure that the authorities must have taken time to recognize the language of Bengali stature just to increase our excitement at the very end. According to Ethnologue and Wikipedia, Bengali is the 5th most spoken native language and the 7th most spoken language of the world. Around 278 million people speak in Bengali in the whole world as of 2024, of which 237 million are native speakers. Bengali is also the most widely spoken language in India. Of course, after our sweet Hindi, we know that being large is one thing and maintaining the growth momentum is another. What is also important is that in India, in addition to being the 2nd most spoken language, it is the 4th fastest growing language. আমি বাংলায় কথা কই, আমি বাংলার কথা কই, আমি বাংলায় ভাসি, বাংলায় হাসি, বাংলায় জেগে রই। I speak Bengali, I speak of Bengali, I live, I celebrate in Bengali, and my soul is awakened in Bengali. Actually, when I speak in Bengali, all my words, all the surroundings, and even the whole world becomes very beautiful because Bengali is arguably one of the sweetest language of the world. So you can well imagine why it is a moment of immense pride for all of us and beneficial for the whole nation also that Bengali has now been recognized as one of the classical languages of India, because a nation progresses when its resources are enriched. This prestigious recognition celebrates the language's rich history, vast literary contributions, and its enduring impact on our culture for over a millennium. As Bengali joins the ranks of India's classical languages, it stands as a symbol of our heritage, a source of cultural pride, a testament to the timeless beauty of this language that has shaped the lives of millions. A language is not mere mode of communication. It is much more than that. It is true for all great languages, and in fact, for all languages for that matter. Shuniti Kumar Chattopadhyay, the great linguist and scholar from Bengal, reconfirms the statement when he mentions that the Bengali language is not just the language of a nation, it is the carrier of a civilization. The greatness of a language lies on how it ties different social strata, different communal segments, it touches various lives, becomes inspiration for evolution and revolution, influences the art and culture movements. That way, Bengali has excelled with grace in all these facets to such an extent that people even didn't hesitate to sacrifice their lives to hold high the glory of this language, which is like the mother for them. UNESCO also saluted this spirit by commemorating 21st February as the International Mother Language Day. Such is our beloved Bengali language. Can I tell you one interesting information here? Not only during the language movement or Bhasha Andolan, this language has motivated again and again the spirit of freedom fighting, played a large role in the fight for Indian independence. But we shall talk about that a little later. So, I really feel honored and excited to say a few words about this great language called Bengali and its richness, history, importance, and influence. I take this opportunity to thank the Government of India for acknowledging it as a classical language. I also sincerely thank the Indian Embassy to provide this platform to me today. I will take few minutes to briefly tell you the history and evolution of the Bengali language. The emergence of the Bengali literature is supposed to date back to roughly 650 AD. The development of Bengali literature claims to be almost 1600 years old. Many assume that it was born out of Sanskrit, but scholars and linguists also believe that it derives its strengths and richness from other Indo-Aryan languages like Magadhi Prakrit and Pali. So, indeed, it is decently old language, but still maintains its youth as it still draws its strength, its life from other contemporary languages like Turkish, Portuguese, Persian, and of course English during this modern era as well. Though not related to its ancients, but it is interesting to know that even a species of a dinosaur has been named after the famous Bengali polymath Rabindranath Tagore. The name is Barapasaras Tegurai. Isn't it interesting? Let us again go back to the evolution, phases of evolution of Bengali literature and language, of course. We can divide the evolution of the Bengali language in three eras. The ancient, which is between 650 AD to 1200, then the medieval from 1200 AD to 1800, and the modern after 1800. Let us take a tour of ancient era first. Early exposure of Bengali in form of a language with its literature dates back to around 650 AD, as I said, when priests and scholars widely used Sanskrit in literary works in Bengal. Though most of the literary treasures of that era is now concealed in the mist of time, but there are few notable traces of literature in ancient Bengali identified from that time. The oldest text ever found is Chorjabab. It is a collection of mystical poems of revelation based on Buddhism, thought to have originated between the 8th and 12th centuries. They were written by 24 poets. Now let's talk about the medieval period. The sweet devotional notes of Vaishnava Padavalis, the socio-narrative religious poetry of Mangala Kavyas were created at this time. The Padavalis and poetry by Boru Chandidas, Vidyapati, Govindadas enriched Bengali literature during this time of Bhakti movement. Alongside the Bhakti tradition, Sufi mysticism also flourished, especially in rural Bengal. Sufi poets like Shah Jalal, Shah Maktoum, and later Lalan Fakir brought a syncretic blend of Islam and local folk traditions into their works. So much so that even Rabindranath Tagore was very much influenced by the works and philosophy of Lalan. The Baul tradition, on the other hand, which blends Vaishnava and Sufi ideas, also emerged during this time. Few minutes back, I told that the success and greatness of a language lies in how it helps tribes, sects, and segments mingle together. And here is a perfect example of how Bengali brought different streams of religions together and to a great height. Such beauty is the language. Mangala Kavyas, a genre of Bengali religious and narrative poetry, became popular during this period. These poems glorified deities like Manasa, the snake goddess, Chandi, Annapurna, blending local folk beliefs and mainstream Hinduism. These dates were not just religious but were also rooted in the social and cultural life of rural Bengal. These socio-religious tapestry not only enriched Bengali literature but also laid the foundation for Bengal's unique cultural identity in the centuries to come. Let's now come to the modern era. What we call modern Bengali took shape from the dialect spoken in Nadia region of Bengal around the time of the Battle of Palasi in 1757. From here, the language started flowing into two different streams. Shuddha Bhasha, that is the traditional or literary language, and Cholito Bhasha, the colloquial language. Modern Bengali literature emerging after 1800 is characterized by a richness in themes, styles, and forms that reflect the changing socio-political landscape of Bengal and India. This period saw a shift from traditional forms to more contemporary expressions influenced by historical events, colonialism, and very importantly, the quest for identity. From the Bengal Renaissance to contemporary narratives, it continues to reflect the complexities of human experience. This time saw probably the pinnacle of the Enlightenment. Writers and reformers like Ram Mohan Roy, Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, and Rabindranath Tagore sought to address social issues, promote education, and challenge orthodox beliefs. Ishwar Chandra Bandyopadhyay, or very famously known as Vidyasagar, is believed to introduce a new format called prose into Bengali literature. This period saw the rise of new literary forms, including essays, novels, plays, often reflecting the clash between the tradition and modernity. This era saw the rise of Bengali novels that include the likes of Anandamoth by Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay, Devdas by Sharat Chandra Chattopadhyay, Pather Panchali by Vibhutibhushan Bandyopadhyay, and many more. During India's freedom fighting, people would give their lives smilingly with an utterance of Vande Mataram, a song that originated from the Bengali novel Anandamoth. Also, I wonder if there are ever more Indian movies or films made on any other novel than Devdas of Sharat Chandra. The likes of Pather Panchali and Aranyak are almost epics when it comes to describing the mother nature and the rural life that rests on its lap. I still remember one of my teachers, I will share an anecdote, who used to be a life science teacher but used to swear by these novels, Aranyak, Pather Panchali, and Vibhutibhushan, and eventually became a Bengali literature teacher. Such was the mesmerizing power of this language. We also got Kazi Nazrul Islam, Shukumar Roy, who introduced nonsense rhyme in Bengali, Tara Shankar, Manik Bandyopadhyay, all jewels in their own capacity. The early 20th century saw a modernist shift in poetry, influenced by the Western literary movements. Poets like Jivanananda Das and Shukanta Bhattacharya, who lived only 21 years, but already outlived most of the poets in such a short tenure. Such was the lightning strength of this language. Did you know that one type of oysters has been named after Jivanananda? It's called Ostria Jivananandai. Post-independence, notable works of Shunil Gangopadhyay, Shakti Chattopadhyay, Shankha Ghosh, and contemporary authors explored themes of marginalized voices, social justice, and the impact of urbanization. In fact, Bengali language also gave birth to many international level directors, movie directing maestros like Satyajit Ray, Ritik Ghatak, Mrinal Sen, Rituparna Ghosh, Gautam Ghosh, Aparna Singh, and how many I should mention here, many more. Please excuse my personal emotion when I say that a language like Bengali can probably give rise to a polymath like Rabindranath Tagore. According to Wikipedia, his Nobel Prize stemmed from the accessible nature of a small body of translated material, including the translated Gitanjali. I sometimes wonder if a small body of translation can do this wonder. What would have been the result if the jury could read Bengali and the original works of Rabindranath? Bengali has significantly influenced the national anthems of 3 countries. While Rabindranath himself wrote the national anthems of India and Bangladesh, the national anthem of Sri Lanka is believed to be also influenced by Tagore. The composer Ananda Samarakun had been a pupil of Tagore in Vishwabharati University, Shantiniketan. Bengali idioms, phrases and lullabies many a times reflect the socio-economic condition of the contemporary era. For example, Borgi elo deshe, khajna debo kishe. It talks about the Borgi attack and the measurable, miserly condition of people not being able to even pay taxes. Desher obostha mane koriya chinton, a religious script that asks to think of the country, Takar Kumir. Then Ikir Mikir, it's an indoor game script bearing an inherent interpretation of the socio-economic condition at that time, etc. Down the line, Bengali has absorbed vocabulary from various languages over centuries. In Arabic, for example, Kolom, Adalat, Kanun, Farsi, Khoda, Karkhana, Chashma, Tariq, in English, Doctor, Hashpatal, table chair, couplet, in Tibetan and Mongolian, Mat, Juta, Bajuto. But Bengali has just not taken only, it has given back also. Bengali has contributed several words to other languages, particularly due to cultural exchanges, trade and historical interactions. For example, in English dictionary now it has been included the word Kherao, Veranda, Churut, Pandit, Guru, etc. Matribhasha, Matritugdha Samo. The mother tongue is like the breastfed milk, and I'm very fortunate that I drink one of the most nutritious drink. I sincerely thank the Indian Embassy once again for providing me this opportunity to fondly share the love and the fragrance of my mother tongue, that is Bengali. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Anupam, for such a comprehensive presentation on the beautiful Bengali.